You've had a long day of work, and now finally you have time to unwind with a video game. You spent $70 on a new AAA game and expecting a premium product for that price, but instead you go home, boot it up on your PlayStation 5, and met with a bloated, microtransaction riddled, buggy mess of a game that cost over $100 million to make and led to layoffs for an entire development team. This is the state of modern gaming. Big video game companies like EA, Ubisoft, and Activision do this to each of their titles. Instead of making a good game, they're making the game that'll make them the most money as fast as possible. And I'm sick of it! I'm a gamer. I play video games. I'm tired of big video game companies giving me the slop. If only there was another way to get an amazing video game experience for a good price that doesn't contain microtransactions and support smaller developers. If only there was a way. What's that? What's that? Oh, it's indie games and video games that the developers care for. I thought they were extinct. Indie games, smaller games, and games that developers care for are the future of video games. I know, shocker. Who could have expected when a company makes a good product, it's gonna be a good product? Shocker. Oh my god. Sorry about that. I don't know what that was. But smaller games are the future of video games. These games may be smaller, but they give you a better video game experience. They allow for individuals to finally make money off of all of their hard work. Now let's take a look at how AAA games are trying to present themselves now. Most AAA game titles are trying to make the promise of a forever game. A game that you can play forever, that has so much content inside of it that you never need to play a different game ever again. And sure, there's games you can play forever. There's roguelikes, there's Minecraft, Stardew Valley, The Sims. These games are meant to be replayed. They're meant to constantly be replayed. That's the point of the game. You can always adapt. It changes every single time and doesn't get boring. That's the point. But I'm talking about a game that has so much content, so many missions, that you can play this game forever. There's a lot of games that do this concept really well. Think of Breath of the Wild, Fallout 4, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, Tears of the Kingdom, all these games. The game developers made 100 hours worth of really good content, and the gameplay doesn't get stale, and there's always something to do wherever you are on the map. Keyword, the developers made 100 hours worth of content, not 10 hours worth of content and 90 hours worth of padding. So many AAA games have so much padding in them that it takes forever to get to the main point. Think Mario and Luigi Brothership. Any Assassin's Creed game from the past 10 years. So Death Stranding, that game took forever to even get good, and once it got good, it's still kind of. I'm sorry, it's not the second coming of Christ, guys. If a game studio only has 10 hours worth of gameplay, why don't they make a short game, 10 hours, release it $20, and have it a good experience, good reviews, have it win so many awards, be happy. But no, we have studios that grab a game and stretch it out as long as possible. Alright, I'll give you a few examples. Death Stranding, that game, I know the vision is seeing your progress over time and how you connect with the community, but it's still boring. The first 10 hours, the game's unplayable, and then afterwards, it's alright. The story's good though, I like it. Alright, then we have Suicide Killed the Justice League. I am so mad when that game came out, because that game had a studio known for its melee combat based system for making the Arkham games, and they forced them to make a looter shooter? What? And any Ubisoft game over the past 5 years has been kind of buns, man. Like, they have Siege, but other than that, that's it. All the games are stretched out as long as possible, grinding and microtransactions filled. It's sad. It makes me angry. It makes me so mad that if a game is missing half of its content, that it would have been better. Don't make me walk from area A to area B 8 times in your gameplay without any fast travel. Don't make me sit through an hour-long lore dump with no cutscene, just characters talking for a mission, and don't have crafting in your game that takes real time to do.
Why? Why? I'm a busy man. I have 1 hour for video games, and I do not want to spend 30 minutes waiting for this one item I need to be crafted to be done. And then we have microtransactions. We have season passes in single player games. We have skins every 30 seconds. We have meta-defying weapons locked against a paywall. And loot boxes, also known as legalized gambling for children. Promises of DLC before the game even comes out is just cutting the game, a whole chunk of the game off, and having you pay even more for the game that should have been included in the first place. And an increase of the toxic work environment in these big companies and a rise in crunch culture makes a game developer super stressed of trying to make this product and forcing it out as fast as possible, which ruins the product in return. And I know it might sound that I'm complaining about everything, but I'm spending $70 on this game, and then the extra time I have left over to play this game. I have a busy schedule, and sometimes I don't even have enough time to play video games. And when I have a game that is filled with bugs, microtransactions, and filled with padding, it just makes my blood boil. I hate it. I want to get my money's worth from this game. And a lot of the companies, the shady dealings behind the back, and the terrible work environments, I don't want to support that. That's why I like supporting indie developers. Because indie devs, they're not CEOs. They're not some conglomerate empire. They are sweaty, filthy gamers, just like you and me, and they know what it means to make a good game. There's an indie game for every genre. I'll give you an example. You want an angry Italian man? We got Pizza Tower. You want a gambling addiction? We got Balatro. You want a fast-paced FPS with crazy movement? Look the entirety of New Blood. And boobies? Psych! I'm not going to show you any of those games. I don't want to get demonetized. The list of indie games literally goes on forever. And all indie games are made from either one person or a small group of people working on a project that are proud of, that they put their money, time, sweat, tears into making that game to make something unique and something they can express themselves. Also, video games that know what they're trying to give you are amazing. Why do you think there's a bunch of obscure Japanese series that are becoming really popular over these past few years? It's because they know what they're trying to give you and they perfected it. Think Souls games, the Yakuza series, Monster Hunter. All of these games have been popping off these past few years because in a sea of unoriginal, messy AAA games, these stand out and they give you an experience that you can never forget. So these indie games are giving you an experience that you can't forget, and these smaller games are also giving you an experience you can never forget. So they must cost the same as these other games. Wrong! On average, one of these smaller games costs $30, which is a lot less than these bigger games. Because these games are smaller, they give you, sure, a shorter game that is 30, 20 hours long, but they give you a game that is really good for those hours, which is really condensed. I am happy when one of my friends recommends me a game that's only 6 hours long, because that is obtainable. That is obtainable. I can do that in maybe a week or two. I can put that time in to beat that game, because I know all of you have a list of video games that you've bought and haven't even touched, or a bunch of video games that you're halfway through and say, oh, I'll go back and finish that. How many games do you have? Think about it. How many games have you not even touched or have completed because you do not have the time to play them? So it's a breath of fresh air once you have a good experience that doesn't take so much of your time like it's another job. I play video games to escape reality, not to clock into another job. And smaller budget games that cost less money to make can give a huge explosion into how much money the company can make. Speaking of money, if you want to give me money, all you have to do is hit the like and subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you know when I next upload. Money is the number one thing that developers have to worry about when making a video game. Let's look at Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight had a budget of $35,000 US on Kickstarter, and now the game has made over $248 million in profit. Hollow Knight is arguably one of the most best-selling indie games of all time, so it must be an exception. Okay, let's look at this smaller indie game. The game is called Anton Blast, and it is an amazing game. It is amazing WarioWare-like. If you like Pizza Tower, Wario Land 4, you're gonna love this game. It's crazy movement, great personality, amazing animation. Play this game. It deserves all of his love. Here is a quote from Tony Garrison, the director of Anton Blast, from their Blue Sky. Less than 1 month to today, Anton Blast has recuperated all of its expenses related to development, marketing, and production. We are profitable. Looks like Sumter Games is going to be making a lot more games for a lot longer. Thank you, everyone. This message was written on January 2nd, 2025. The game was first released December 3rd, 2024 for Windows, and with a Nintendo Switch version later coming December 13th. It's crazy how fast that game recuperated all the expensive, and this game is amazing. This is not just one example. There is many games that have stories like this. The game had a budget of $1,045,000 on its Kickstarter, and if that game made that much money in less than a month, imagine the profits it'll make in the future.
If you give a small group of people $150,000 to make a video game, and they raised $1 million in profit, that's a 600% increase than the original cost, which is really good. And I think video game developers are seeing this. Look at games like Monster Hunter, a very dedicated group of developers that made a game the way they wanted to. Helldivers, the success of that game. Games like Lethal Company and Repo, those games are massive across the internet. If video game developers can realize this, I think a shift in how the market is will happen. I don't know when, but it will happen once they realize it.
And you can't even say my name. As the memory comes, I am feeling I won't come my day as the coil